I want to say we're so very excited to be here and help celebrate Mike and his community's relationship. And we only know half of you guys, so that's important. I can ask you how you guys must feel right now.
My name is Zemanski. I, of course, am Michael's identical twin brother. That's not true, although a handful of you in here have mistaken me for him, including brother. My name is Zemanski. I'm Mike's bigger brother. Actually, we're like taller brother. Even at 7 inches shorter than me, he's still bigger than me. I think it's CrossFit or something. I don't know. Just talk about it.
Hi, I'm Jack, Mike's youngest brother, and although Mike's birthday is only a week later than mine, he is only 5,153 days older. But it's not.
Okay, so we were rewriting, and reciting the speech up until about 30 seconds before we stood up here in classic Zemanski fashion. So if we run into any hiccups, just bear with us. We want to start by saying that we know this isn't the Aaron's first rodeo, but for the Zemanski family, Mike is the first sibling, grandchild, and cousin to get married on this side of the family. So we're super pumped that this wedding is not only finally happening, but that everyone that we love is here to celebrate.
Growing up, I always looked up to Mike. When we were little, my mom used to ask me what I wanted to wear to school that day, and I would happily respond, "What's Mike?" I always had a guide to follow. Mike liked hip-hop music. I liked hip-hop music. He played soccer and basketball, and I played soccer and basketball. He immensely struggled with making any decision at all. And it took me 2 weeks to decide if I wanted to say that. Being so late, it led to hundreds of mini competitions throughout the Zemanski household. From goalie wars out there, which is a soccer game, to games of 21 in the driveway with Drew Ryan, to hockey in our basement. Nowadays, Mike will claim he isn't quite that competitive anymore. He's more level-headed, or at least he can separate what is worth caring about and what isn't. And I think he has Lindsay to thank for a lot of that. And a little sidebar here is, I remember when Lindsay first had to witness a fully loaded Zemanski family football extravaganza. She looked like she was watching a group of animals at a zoo. But once upon a time, Mike was one of those animals, and he was my guide for how to compete. I remember one cold winter's morning when I was 3 and Mike was 5. The backyard had frozen over with ice. We got our skates on, we pretended like we were Mario and Lemieux playing hockey. Now the details are a bit blurry here, although I do still have the scars to prove it. But one thing led to another. There was a stick to the face, and I ended up on the ground bleeding and in need of immediate medical attention. Now Michael claimed that it was just an accident. It was. But to this day, I remember many stories of us playing and competing like our lives depended on it. And those experiences ultimately shaped us into the people that we are today. That person that Mike is today met Lindsay 8 years ago. Now when Mike first met Lindsay, okay, honestly, I have almost zero memory of this.
Hey, what?
8 years ago.
Zero memory.
Give me a break. My earliest memory of Mike and Lindsay revolved around a night at MSU that ended up in something that has been termed by Lindsay spring party. You'll have to ask Lindsay about that one. But knowing Michael as well as I do, I truly believe that since he's been with Lindsay, he's become a more happy, healthy, and understanding person. And I think his competitiveness is a big reason that he is where he is. Constantly pushing yourself, you don't settle for anything but the best, and in Lindsay's case, the best.
Mike being 10 years older than me, I don't have much memory of him when I was growing up. But, and Mike is like saying this, I like to think of him in 2 stages. Like my childhood, or Angry Mike. And then like since he met Lindsay, or Ed. I'm sure he has enjoyed his moments before he met Lindsay, but I don't know. But that may have been since I was beating up Jack or playing with Pokemon cards. Hashtag Team Pikachu. So I may not be the most reliable source. But honestly, Mike is one of the funniest, smartest, kindest, and every other positive adjective you can think of people in this entire world. And I'm proud to call him my brother. You got a good one here, Big Tank. Oh yeah, and those of you that don't know, Lindsay was known as Big Tank all throughout high school. Or we're not getting specifics, but basically, she has a huge bladder. The size of her bladder pales in comparison to the size of her heart. I'm so happy to welcome this girl with this heart into our family.
The 14-year age gap didn't really allow me to get to know Michael that well because he moved out when I was 5 years old. But I watched enough home videos to know Mike was a little too obsessed with the size of my head when I was a kid. It wasn't that big. And I've been told he always had my back. But I don't mean the typical brother watching out for the baby. I mean the older brother who calls the babysitter when he is out with his friends to make sure little Jack is okay. At that point, you wouldn't think you could ask for a better brother. But then this girl came along about 8 years ago and changed all our lives for the better. Lindsay has been a part of our family for a long time, even if it wasn't official, and I'm happy that it will finally be official and I can call this amazing girl my sister. Nice work, Mike.
Not only has Lindsay changed our brother for the better, she's also brought an absurd amount of laughter and fun with her engaging, energetic, and outgoing personality. She's the kind of person that you want to be around, and we're all so lucky to not only get to call you our sister now, but also our friend. As Pat mentioned, when she first came around, she really didn't know what she was getting into with her competitive family. However, Lindsay being the driven and determined woman that she is, she's held her own among the craziest of Zemanskis. Not only did she participate in our family's first ever fantasy football draft, she had minimal knowledge of sports before this. She took home 3rd place. It only took us 7 years for us to get Lindsay to participate in our family's annual turkey bowl. And unfortunately this year, they conveniently planned their honeymoon to fall over Thanksgiving. Don't think we don't realize the weird coincidence there, guys. But in all seriousness, I really got to know Mike and Lindsay on another level when I first moved to Chicago about 1.5 years ago. I lived with them for a while, probably a while longer than they would have liked. And after one too many broken household appliances, and a lot of tears and laughter, I managed to learn quite a few things from them. The first is that, this is pretty obvious, they love organization, lists, and all things structured. I found an Excel spreadsheet about their wedding, probably a week after you guys got engaged. It was perfect. Secondly, also obvious, they love CrossFit and all things paleo. Over there. The night before I moved out, I made them chicken marsala for dinner, and they almost both refused to eat it because it contained flour. And third, they love watching TV, from Girls to Breaking Bad to Sunday Night Football. They really enjoy their prime time. mother pup Judy. She is the luckiest and most spoiled pup in the whole world. I can't imagine what you guys are going to be like with parents, or with children. But more than anything else, you guys love each other. And I truly admire you both as people and as a couple. The amount of respect and love that you share for one another is unmatched, and I hope that I'm lucky enough to share that with someone someday.
We're all freaking happy for you guys. Thinking back and growing up and having you as a big brother, I couldn't ask for anything more than to be mistaken for someone like you, especially on a day like today. You've always been my protector, and I thank you so much for that. Every time I leave spending time with the two of you, I always inevitably want to be better. I want to improve. And I think that's because the two of you exemplify how a great relationship should help to bring out the best of you. We couldn't be happier to add another member to our family. So please, finally, raise your glasses and cheers to the wonderful bride and groom.
Yeah, baby.